Good morning, everybody. My name is Mohammed Abdul Rahman, and I am a governor of Shrine of Remembrance. And with me joining us today, Gary Flavian, our Shrine volunteer, and also joining with us in our CEO, Mr. Dean Lee. Dean? On the behalf of trustees, welcome to the Shrine of Remembrance, Melbourne. Please be aware, this service is live streamed. We embraced the diversity of our community and acknowledge the Bunurong people of the Kulin Nation as the traditional custodians of the land on which we honor Australian Defence Force service and sacrifice. We pay our respect to elders past and present. This Shrine of Remembrance was dedicated in 1934 to those Victorians and Australians who enlisted and served in the First World War. Our purpose now is to honor the service and sacrifice of all Victorians and Australians in war, conflict, peacemaking, and peacekeeping. We warmly welcome all veterans and members of the Australian Defence Force and our allied forces, and the families that love and support them. In today's monthly remembrance service, a wreath will be laid in the memory of the bravery of sacrifice displayed by those who serve in ships or units of the Royal Australian Navy, the Australian Army, or the Royal Australian Air Force. Shrine Guard, take post. The Shrine Guard has protected and provided ceremonial support to the Shrine since 1935. They wear a uniform similar to that of the Royal Australian Light Horse during the First World War, a legacy of those first Shrine Guard, all of whom were veterans of that war. Remembrance services are an important feature of the Shrine's commemorative program and have been conducted by the Veterans Association since 1934. These services allow veterans to honor bonds forged in conflict, to remember mates with whom they serve. Many did not return from active service, and more have since passed away. With the passage of time, no services are conducted by the veterans of World War I and II. Notwithstanding, the tradition continues. Each month, a wreath is laid at the Stone of Remembrance on behalf of those unable to continue their pilgrims. Today, the wreath will be laid by Gary Flavian, our Shrine volunteer. Thanks, Gary. The names of those who enlisted in Victoria and served overseas during the First World War are recorded forever in the books displayed in the ambulatory that surrounds us. They served in the German New Guinea, on the Gallipoli Peninsula, in the Middle East, the France, and Belgium, on the oceans of the world, and in the skies above. In the First World War, 114,000 Victorians enlisted, 89,000 served overseas, and 19,000 made the supreme sacrifice. In the Second World War, 297,000 Victorians enlisted, and 10,900 died. Over 7 years, they served in many of the European, Middle Eastern, and Pacific theaters, including on home soil in the defense of Australia. Following the Second World War, Australians served in every area of Allied conflict as combatants, and as peacekeepers in Korea, Vietnam, Southeast Asia, Namibia, Rwanda, Sudan, Timor, Afghanistan, and Iraq. Many Australian service personnel currently serve overseas and in domestic duty. Today we remember, in particular, those who serve in these months in the following ships and units. The Great War, the Royal Australian Navy, light cruisers HMAS Encounter and HMAS Pioneer, which in August 1914 captured the German ships Zambesi and Neumünster. Both ships served in the Pacific and Indian Oceans thereafter. Australian Army, the 3rd Light Horse Brigade with its 8th and 9th Regiments, and the 4th Light Horse Brigade with its 4th and 13th Regiments. These 4 regiments served on Gallipoli as infantry, the 8th being part of the attack on the Neck on 7th August 1915 in Turkey. Losing over half its men, the 4th Regiment was the only one to serve in all 3 campaigns of the Gallipoli, Palestine, and the Western Front. The Army's Veterinary services attached on the 2nd Infantry Division, which supported all major battles on the Western Front. World War II, Australian Army, the 2nd 7th Australian Infantry Battalion, that served in the Middle East, the Greece, and New Guinea. In 1941, the majority of the battalion was captured and spent the rest of the war as prisoner of wars. Royal Australian Air Force, Catalina Branch Air Force Association. Today we remember and honor the service and sacrifice of all who serve on Catalina flying boats. The Royal Australian Air Force operated Catalinas throughout the Pacific and Indian Oceans and the South China Sea from the beginning to the end of the war in the Pacific. Catalinas were used for surveillance, boating, air-sea rescue, and supporting Allied forces behind enemy lines. Catalina conducted a successful campaign of mine-laying. At the end of hostilities, Catalinas repatriated prisoners of war. Victory in the Pacific Day, BP Day. The BP Day is remembered on 15th August. This date commemorates Japan's acceptance of the Allied demand for unconditional support. 14 August 1945. For all Australians, it means that the Second World War was finally over. The wreath is now belayed. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to place your personal tribute at the Stone of Remembrance or your poppy in the urns provided. The ode will now be recited following the sounding of the last post. The ode is the fourth verse of Lawrence Benion's poem, For the Fallen. The last post is a traditional military bugle call that marks the end of the day. It is now played to commemorate those killed in service. If you are able to, please stand. I encourage you to participate by repeating the phrases, "We will remember them," and "lest we forget." They shall grow not old as we are that grow old. Age shall not weary them, not the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget. Please now join us in singing the Australian National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts, all beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every
Shrine Guard, fall out. That concludes today's Remembrance Service. Thank you for your attendance and participation. Please continue your peaceful reflection here in the sanctuary, upstairs on the balcony, or downstairs in the galleries of remembrance. Thank you, and you have a good day.